All right, this is E with Across the Board here on location at Soundstage here in downtown Baltimore with Matt Greiner of August Burns Red. Matt, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, man. So big fans. Said first time seeing you guys live in a little bit here. Excited, to see you guys. And we asked our fans of the radio show, who they wanted to hear, and they said August Burns Red. We said we agree. Said who from the interview would you like to have us interview? They named you. We got a lot of people saying Matt Greiner is supposed to be a great guy and all. So the pressure's on.
Well,
so,
okay,
yeah.
A little disclaimer here. Great guy. I'll try to live up to that.
Okay.
I can't guarantee anything. I can play drums.
Okay.
As far as the great guy part, I'll do my best.
There you go. So, and I'm repping Lancaster, PA tonight with the Toda shirt. This is the Apocalypse, friends of the show as well. The scene has got to be good. I mean, a lot of good bands. Texas in July, Centuries from out there as well, right? I mean, a lot of really good bands from the Lancaster, PA area. Mm-hmm. What's in the water over there? Is there just nothing else to do but play music? Or, I mean, what's creating the intense, whether it's metal or grindcore or, whatever, what's creating that?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think the fact that we live in a pretty remote part of Pennsylvania and are surrounded by farms and fields,
okay,
means that everyone has to draw inspiration and influence from somewhere. Okay, so I was born and raised on a farm, and actually August Burns Red's epicenter is my dad's farm. It's where we wrote the records. It's where we practiced. And it's actually a great place to be a band because there aren't a lot of distractions. And so, in other words, we can practice till 1 or 2 a.m. and not have to worry about sound violations or anything, and no one really knows what we're doing. And then all of a sudden we write these songs, we record them, we go on tour, and people find out we're from there. And actually the last people to find out that we're a band from Lancaster are the people in Lancaster.
Wow.
Everyone else finds out first. So it's interesting that there are a lot of bands from Lancaster, and I think part of the reason is just that there was a really robust scene there about, I would say 8 or 9 years ago was the peak of it.
Okay. We
were playing locally a lot. We weren't playing even regionally at that point, and we would book our own shows, and we'd play, and there'd be anywhere from 200 to 400 people there at a time. They were good shows, not huge, but they were good. And the scene was really, it was kind of edified by the regularity of these local shows.
Okay.
And so talent started to come up through the ranks just because there were shows often, almost every weekend, and they were good shows. And as a result, Texas in July, as you mentioned, and Toda, as you mentioned, and Century, these are all guys that have become friends of ours, and were probably friends of ours before they were even bands. And very tight-knit community, very talented people that just so happened to pick up their instruments in a timely manner and start playing music.
We're all thankful for that, I'll tell you. It's a gift to all of us. Now, I know you write a lot of the music as well, not just the drum tracks, but you've written lyrics as well, correct?
That's correct.
And which is rare for a drummer, unless you're Phil Collins or Don Henley or somebody like that, So talk a little bit about that, having that gift to be able to write lyrics as well, and how that translates to Jake, singing those lyrics.
Yeah, singing them. Sure, yeah, sure. That's a good question. August Burns Red has always been about having the best creative voices be heard.
Okay.
So regardless of what instrument you play, if you have a good good contribution to be made to the song, then we want to hear it. So I like writing lyrics. I like writing in general. I've always liked writing, and I've been through some pretty bizarre experiences in the last decade, and so whenever I go through something, specifically, I'll paint the picture. The first song on Rescue and Restore is a song that I wrote about an experience I had last year where I lost a lot of money in a financial scandal.
Okay.
And I dealt with the loss by writing about it. And
catharsis.
Yes, that's correct. It's a helpful way to deal with something, I think. And so I wrote this song called Provision, and the line in the middle of the song is, "I'm just as much the problem as the man behind bars. He did with his business what I do in my heart." And this gentleman was a friend of mine, or so I thought. I trusted him, and after working with the FBI for 8 months, he's now in prison. And I look at that on the other
okay.
end and go, wow, this guy's a terrible, terrible human being. But in the grieving process, if you want to call it that, of losing all that money, I had to look at it and say, well, okay, sure, he stole a lot of money. He was deceitful and manipulative and used God to get what he wanted. But at the end of the day, I believe that, if God's going to look at his heart and then he's going to look at mine, he's probably going to weigh my sin in a similar fashion to his. Of course, there are different ramifications here on earth. I believe, he's in jail and I'm not. But I can't look at him and say he's so much worse than me, and therefore I'm going to live myself in pride and sort of, beat my chest, and here I am, I'm a good guy. And it actually helped me move on past the loss of losing the money and saying, what do I do now? How do I trust anyone ever again? And actually come to terms with the fact that people are people, and they are only human, and they make mistakes. And now money's just money. It's not central to who I am or what I'm doing in life. So it was actually a helpful lesson. And that's the first song we play on this tour, and it's neat to look out and see people singing along. Of course I'm playing the drums, and so I'm focused on that, but I'm always aware of what people are singing and what they're connecting to. And so contributing lyrically is pretty neat, because it's just another dimension of the band that I get to participate in.
I can't imagine that feeling. I would think that's one of the best feelings about being a musician touring, that you can have not power over people, but you can impact people's lives, and like you said, have them sing the lyrics back to you because it means something to them, whether it's what it meant to you or not. They probably haven't lost money or something like that, but it means something to them deeply, and then you can touch them that way. It's got to be incredible.
That's the best. I mean.
Yeah. So the next song's got to be about the One Direction backpack next to you, then, right? It's just distracting over there. In any case, so I saw another. Thank you, I appreciate it. I saw another interview with you guys, and actually it was with you in my research for the interview, and someone from another band asked you, what would you do? What would you play besides music for August Burns Red?
Okay.
And you said not if August Burns Red is over, but when it's over.
Okay.
Making it sound, finite at some point. Why that? Do you think you'll grow out of it? And what I find fascinating is that not only you guys have been around for a while, but you get better. And in all honesty, in all sincerity, and that's hard to do. It seems like this, with a lot of bands breaking up. As we're recording this, just yesterday they announced that Joey Jordison is out of Slipknot. That's a big thing. So how do you guys stay together? And then what do you think about the timeline for August Burns Red?
Yeah. A funny rabbit trail here. I actually emailed the band today as a joke, and the subject line was heavy stuff. And I wrote, dear guys, it's addressed to everyone in the band. I said, I regret to inform you, I'll be leaving August Burns Red to fill the shoes of Joey Jordison.
Right.
I am excited to play nothing but blast beats and double bass at 220 beats per minute, and to be a complete, clown on stage.
Yeah, you've got to create your mask and all that. Yeah.
I said, it's been real. See ya. Well, of course, it's a joke, and everyone responded with, can't wait to see you in the outfit. You're right. Okay, the music industry is a fleeting industry, and you do it because after a while you do it because you love it. There's a certain longevity where there's a certain amount of time where you do it because it's just fascinating. It's like when you first fall in love with a girl, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you're in a band. Okay. But you grow out of that, and it develops in stages, and I've been playing in this band for 10 years, and I love playing music and touring for different reasons than I did in the beginning, and I'm aware of the fact that I won't be doing this forever. And what that does is actually, it makes me enjoy every day a little bit more, because I don't take for granted the fact that this is going to last forever. And I'm confident August Burns Red could be a band for another decade without a problem. Whether or not I'm a part of that is something yet to be determined. I know that I'm a part of this thing now, and I enjoy it very much, and next year as well. And then I take it year by year, and kind of evaluate how much my heart's in it. So I think, all to say, I don't think bands are supposed to be bands forever. I think bands need to know when to call it quits. And right now I could say August Burns Red is still climbing, doing amazing things,
Yeah.
and writing music that we're all passionate about. We don't take any song for granted, and every lyric means something to all of us. And until that stops and becomes stale, we'll keep doing it.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that answer. You know, it's interesting to hear you say that. You know, a lot of people would say they want to be in a band forever. You know, but you're right. Some people need to quit. Like, we won't call anybody out, but there are a lot of bands that have been around for a long time,
Like,
right? That you're
you
thinking
need to quit 10 years ago.
Yeah. Bon Jovi, for example, actually, but something like that. So, if you could, you know, you're a musician, you're a drummer, you're a human being. Take all of the parts of what make you Matt Greiner. If you could leave a time capsule, we'll get a little deeper with the questions, for your kids or younger drummers or a younger generation, anybody, if you could leave 3 things in a time capsule to represent who you are or who music is or what drums are right now, what would you put in there?
Yeah. Always give more than you receive. Always. Secondly, be more concerned and attentive to the passion that you have for your instrument than, say, the technique or what other people say about you. That's what translates, you know, in a much more exponential way. And then thirdly, well, I guess I would use this. Tonight there's a Make-A-Wish kid who's going to be playing a song with us.
Oh, that's great.
And he had a malignant tumor on his knee. It's now been it's benign. Okay, so here he is today playing a song with us. And I think the most important thing is to just be aware of the fact that your music is powerful and it can be inspirational. And I wouldn't be able to go to sleep at night knowing that the music I'm making is telling people to jump off a bridge and that they're not worth anything. So be aware of your pedestal, you know, the stage you have. You have a place of importance for a reason. So don't take it for granted and be good stewards of it.
So you can move people and just know that and use that responsibly. I like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Just a couple more questions. If you could live any moment in your life over again because you enjoyed it so much or because you want to change something about it,
Yeah.
what would that be if you can feel comfortable for sharing that?
Well, if I can go back on investing $37,000 with this gentleman, then
That would do it, right? Yeah. Okay, but you got a good song out of it at least. So yeah.
Very expensive lyric.
Wow. Wow.
I mean that is serious, but on a serious note, I guess I would say I used to be the kind of drummer that was so in my own head that I never really left the venue and looked around at the places I was traveling to. I showed up at the venue and I think, okay, show, and it's like 12 noon, and I don't have anything to do until 7, but I'm thinking, I can't leave, I have to be here, I have to be ready. And I think if I were to look back on the past 10 years, I would definitely change the fact that I didn't really capitalize as much on the places I've traveled to as I could have. And so now, as a result of that, okay, we're in Baltimore. I walked around Inner Harbor, and I walked around a lot and got to see some stuff.
Nice.
And that's invigorating. That's probably a big picture thing that I would go back and revisit.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard a lot of bands say that, you know, when, you know, getting to know bands over these years we've been doing the radio show, you know, we say, oh, it's such a cool, glamorous lifestyle, and a lot of them say, not really. I'm inside a bus, it's glamorous for 45 minutes when I play, and then I'm on to the next venue, and on to the next venue, and it just seems really, really, you know, but it's a grind and that kind of thing. So that's a great point to be able to get out and take the time.
Yeah.
Especially when it's, 25 degrees out now. It's ridiculous, but, all right, so.
Layer up.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, last question then. If you knew your life, you only had maybe 10 minutes left, okay, and everything's wrapping up, you can listen to one more song, one more piece of music. It can be yours or anybody else's, and you can listen to it or you can play it. What are the last notes that you want in your life?
Yeah, that's a good question.
We try.
Very good question.
Thanks.
Okay. There's a song by Hillsong United. They're a worship, Christian band from Sydney, Australia, I believe.
Okay.
And they have a song called Oceans. It's track 4 on Zion is the name of the record. The song is called Oceans. And a girl sings it, from what I understand, she used to just be a janitor. She used to walk around on the floor and clean everything up after church or whatever. And somehow it came to light that she could sing, and boy can she sing. and she sang the song called Oceans, and it is the kind of song you could listen to over and over and over again. And I think if I were going out, that's the song I'd put headphones on and listen to, and it would really, I don't know, it would do me good. It's just amazing. You need to play it on the station.
Yeah, I'll have
it's
to look
not
it up.
heavy.
I'll have to look it up.
Hillsong United, it's called Oceans.
Oceans off Zion. All right,
Yeah, off
nice.
Zion.
Actually, one more question to take it back. Who's up and coming out of your area, out of Lancaster, that we should hear next? You know, who's the preview that we need to look into?
Band?
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. That's another good question. Okay, so I would say Bells. Bells is not a heavy band.
Okay.
I played their CD release show with them. They sound like Explosions in the Sky and Sigaros. They're mostly instrumental, and they are amazing. They're actually all over our new DVD. It's called Foreign and Familiar. It's great driving music. It's amazing. It's almost like a soundtrack music is really what it is.
Like Followed by Ghost, that kind of stuff as well. I don't know if you know that band.
I'm not familiar with them.
Same kind of thing as
Okay.
Explosions in the Sky. Yeah.
You know, ambient instrumental, amazing. So they're called Bells. No one's ever heard of them, but hopefully now people will hear about them. They are a really good band, and they're putting out some new music next year.
Great.
So check
Bells.
them out.
We'll check them out.
I think you can find them by searching "We Are Bells," because if you search for Bells, you'll never find them.
Right. BELLS though, right?
BELLS.
Got
We
it.
Are Bells.
We Are Bells. Great.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, again, appreciate the time. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tonight.
Thank you for
Overseer, Defeater, Bless the Fall, August Burns Red, the headliners. Look forward to it. Rescue and Restore is the new album, and then in a couple of years, maybe another album that we expect to be even better, as they all are. They keep progressing. So we appreciate it. Thanks so much. I'm E. This is Across the Board. We'll be back here in a few minutes.
Thank you, guys.